Well, back for more stories, are we? Welcome to the library. Sit down. Tell me, have you ever wondered what it would be like to burn to death? To feel the heat and the flame and the smoke choking you? Well, after tonight, you're going to get a whole new perspective on what that might be like. I stand tall and proud in complete darkness. Someone put me here, I remember it, but I have no knowledge of who. I know I am here for a purpose, but do not know what that is. Although unafraid, I don't believe I will live for long, but do not know the nature of my demise. I hear a commotion not far from me, and my surroundings are bathed in light. Something brushes against me, and I cringe at the touch, feeling a hot sensation. A shadowy shape passes, and the noise moves away, but there is something different. The darkness has lifted, and some light remains. What has caused this? I feel that I want to know, but why is it important? The heat I felt earlier is becoming intense. Sweat dribbles down me in thick rivulets, and forms in little pools around my feet. But I am not thirsty. I don't know how long this lasted for. Time has no relevance to me. Before long, the commotion starts again, and the room fills in like a black void. This is repeated. Light and darkness for what seems an age. Something has changed, though. I feel diminished, not tall and proud as I once was. I sense weakness in me. What is happening? There is no one to give me answers, only deathly silence. My tears are now washing around my feet. Will I drown in them? I can do nothing to make me as I once was. If only I could view my reflection. I knew the end was near. There was very little left of my body. I was sinking into nothingness, my face touching the ground, melting. I strained myself to rise up and reach for the sky, but was unable to do so. This is it, I thought. With my last glimmer of light, I saw another of my kind. As magnificent as I had once been, it looked at me as unknowing of its fate as I had once been. I now understood what this was, to bring light to a darkened world. The sun glimpsed out above the horizon as beautiful tangerine and crimson strips of light painted themselves across the canyons. I glanced at my watch. 5:55. I really should have taken a break an hour ago, but the diner was 20 minutes away, and who'd rather sit in a sweating truck for 45 minutes than with a coffee, burger, and a lonely waitress? The truck carried armor for the military, and likely to cause me problems. I blinked and squinted through a few minutes of low sun that pierced my aviators. Then I heard a noise, a familiar alarming sound of a small engine acting as the treble to the bassy sound of my 18-wheeler. A motorbike, a scrambler, the sound of my problems. My offside mirror saw it dart and swerve out. The near side mirror showed me 2 more dust trails from the desert chasing me. I floored the accelerator and sounded the horn, warning that I was aware. Surrounding me within seconds, a large clank rang out from the right of the cab. I cranked the window and found a grappling hook lodged into the muffler of the stack pipe. I reached down to the glove box and yanked it open, causing a sawn-off and a machete to fall out. I grabbed the machete and hacked at the cable from the window. It sprang away as it severed, but then another hook smashed the passenger side window. Broken glass flung into the cab. Renegade bastards! I swerved the truck onto the dirt a little and pulled the rider from his bike onto the asphalt. I then grabbed the sawn-off, stood, opened the driver door and fired at another rider. His bike caught fire and he launched himself into the desert scrub. The last rider strafed away. Another 10 miles down the highway, I was forced to pull over from heavy steering. Stepping outside, I found my front tires had melted a little. To the right, I saw the shimmering mirage of the diner in the distance, but to my left, the sound of the scrambler engines returning. Life had always been a gamble, and just occasionally it pays off. But I am adamant I do not gamble. Well, apart from driving or crossing the road. But I'm losing things and it's starting to worry me. First it was a favourite shirt, then a pair of Clarks's very comfortable shoes. But now I've lost 2 kitchen knives, both very sharp and extremely painful. Less worryingly, I lost track of an old work colleague, a girl who considered herself to be stunningly attractive and highly desirable. Personally, I thought she was guilty of overrating herself on both counts, but who am I to judge? We worked together briefly, and went for the odd drink, but foolishly, when I was between marriages, we gambled with a lurid affair. It lasted several years, but void of any emotion. We broke up and I met somebody else and got married again. My marriage was happy and rewarding, but many years later my wife became ill and died. Shortly before my wife died, the colleague reappeared and tried to rekindle our old affair. She even met my ailing wife at another friend's funeral. They spoke briefly and I mentioned openly that we had an arrangement. "It was not an arrangement," said my ex-colleague and stormed out. From that day forth, she started to become a right pain in the arse. Unsociable hour phone calls, vitriolic text messages, obscene and accusatory emails. She became even more dangerous than a stalker, and then she moved away, accusing me of dumping her by email and ruining her life. Leon C. had changed considerably for the worse, and she moved to Norfolk to branch out and enjoy life. Regularly, she would send me angry emails accusing me of cyberbullying, humiliating her in public, and all sorts of other demeanours, of which I knew nothing. Yesterday, she was found buried in Bungay, Suffolk, wearing my shirt and Clark's shoes, stabbed frenziedly and repeatedly by 2 missing knives, both covered, of course, in my fingerprints. Today I have been arrested and charged with her murder. Don't gamble. Well, that brings us to the end of tonight's episode. Now run away, children. Run away back to your beds and get some sleep, if you can. I'll see you next time in the library, if you dare.